Hello, everybody who is watching us today, live or as the replay. It's FRC 2011 and the final qualifying of the season. It's the qualifying number 17, and well, the battle for the title is still on fire. And not just between two drivers as it was last season, but this time there are four drivers participating to win the championship. And also the battle is on fire in Constructors Championship also, as the gap between Red Bull and Ferrari is still less than 15 points. It is 14 points to be correct. And the battle is between Red Bull and Ferrari. The qualifying session is going to decide a lot today, and probably we will already know who's going to be the driver who is going to win the championship with 80-90% probability. Well, and also the interactivity from the Formula 1 season finale is back, and you can vote for the driver who, in your opinion, is going to be the world champion. Well, I'm going to start the vote right now, and also you'll see the results displayed on the screen, and also I'll send you the link to the poll. Okay, the vote is starting in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And also, as always, you can join our Discord server to commentate the race together. And as always, starting the session with the weather broadcast. It is going to be sunny today, and I'm trying to uh, make the ball thing as big as possible and not to take a lot of play to take a lot of place on the screen. Anyways, here we go. I forgot to change the loading screen, but it does not matter because we're still racing at Brazil. Absolutely the same layout as it was the previous season, as it was in 2010. It was the first ever stream on this, not just in our YouTube channel, but also in the history of FRC. Not everything was going well then. We had some issues, we had to restart the stream because of the amount of lags, which was just insane. We had about 10 frames per second, but we managed to normalize the frames per second thing, and as the result we were running the race as usual and as we do now. And also, as we see, there is a picture of the driver on the nose of Force India. Sadly, I cannot see who is that. But I can say that this driver is wearing a blue uniform. Or not exactly blue. Or it's not even a driver. But doesn't matter. As we are starting the first qualifying session of the Brazilian Grand Prix. As now, preparing to start the flying lap, we have Jafari Blackwood, Berta Kessin, Messi, Gabriel, Abovic, Daniel Nandovan, Armin Martinez, Arnold, Hannibal, Hidayat, Andrea Louis Aitken, Smithler Chapman, Bios, Tost, Tasley, Oscar Fraser, and Emil Nielsen. He's going to be starting the flying lap last, but now we have Jafari Blackwood already completing the first sector, and he's doing it quite well. And we have our first vote in the poll, and it goes to Max Mittler. Well, that's an interesting decision. I cannot say that I disagree with it, because I literally can't. So that's a good choice, I would say. Jafari Blackwood is now coming down the main straight, and it's the lap time of 1:08.045. He is running second at the moment, Kiesling with the fastest lap, Messi fourth, Gabriel third, even slower than Blackwood. Abovic up into first, and Daniel second. Then we have another McLaren, it's Baked. He's on second position, just 0.02 of a second between the McLarens on top. Armin 7th, Martinez 8th. Here comes the Williams of Alexander Arnold on 9th. Eric Hannibal just less than 1/10 behind the McLaren. That's insane. As Brazil is probably the shortest track in the calendar. He did P12, Andrelli P15, 8 P9, then Smithler, Chapman and Bagos are the fastest for now. Toss only P18, P19 he's the slowest so far, Tasley makes it up into P11, Oscar P12, Fraser second, and Nielsen only P20. Emil just completed the lap, and we already have a driver on the pit lane, as it is Jafari Blackwood, who is currently 9th. Well, I guess it's time to refresh our memory with the results of the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2010. Well, the driver who has got a pole position was Nicolas Binalla. He's now racing at Formula Renault, and The lap time shown was 1:11.593. So basically Bagus is now faster than Nicholas by about 4 seconds, which is impressive. And Nicholas Binal was also driving for Mercedes, so let's see how the uh, German team is going to be performing today. As for now, they're on P5 and P6. Gabriel is now leaving the pit lane. He's only on 13th position, so it is unacceptable to make a mistake on such a track like Brazil because it's really short. And as we see, the lap times are less than 1 minute and 10 seconds. And if we're talking about the results of Brazil 2010, then we can also say that the driver who was starting from the front row then was Aboba Abovic, the 2010 world champion as we know, as he was second in the championship before the final round. He was losing just 3 points to Smitler when the constructor champion was already decided and it was Ferrari, and when the driver on P3 was Kakaboy, who had 187 points compared to 215 of Max Smitler. As now we have Gabriel starting the flying lap. And he may have some traffic ahead as it's Jake Dowsley right in front of him. Let's see if it is going to help him or not, but for now he's faster than his personal best by by 1/10 of a second. But as we see, he's just stuck behind the Zauber. It's not that easy to overtake in such a tight in such a track. As we can see, there are a lot of corners there, and you simply don't have enough time to get closer to the driver and overtake him. As I think that the only opportunity is here into turn 1, as Gabriel is now open to P11, and the second position where you can overtake is after the Senna S's. Well, Martinez is now coming down the final corner with Abovic. Martinez is going to improve his lap time by a lot, I think, as he was on P17 and now he's up onto P11. What about other drivers who have Kieslin moving up into first from P6, with Blackwood staying on P9. The next one is going to be Victor Aitken. And he's going to be staying on P10 without any time improvement. Santino Andreoli is now on P13, with Fernando Tost staying last, being 7/10 of a second behind Berta Kieslin. Darbus Daniel up onto third, and Daniel Fraser is up onto fourth. As we see Armin on P9 and Baked Oven staying on his 6th position. Dowsley P7, Oskan P9. Smiller's up onto 4th. As we see Lionel Messi not making it up into P17. Then Nielsen P20, and the next driver on the flying lap is going to be Erika Hannibal, but as we see, the driver has no improvement, and she's staying on P9. P21 Arnold, and still second position for Aditya Bagus. Well, as I was saying, the Mercedes driver got a pole position in 2010, and now Berta is looking quite promising as he's now on first, and Bagus and Daniel have set absolutely the same lap time of 1 minute, 7 seconds and 852 thousandths. Well, what about the positions of title contenders? As you see, Kieslin is on P1, Bugs is second, then we have Smitler fourth, and Yuri Gabriel is now all the way down on P15. Hopefully he'll make it into the second qualifying session, as for now he's still at risk of uh, being out of Q1. I guess now it's still going to be okay to see the poll as I try to make it a bit uh, smaller. And now we can see the full panel located on the upper part of the screen, as Berto Kieslin, the session leader, is now going to start his third flying lap. Well, now it's very important for Yuri Gabriel to have a proper lap and to stay in the title fight. Even if he's not going to make it into top 16 of the current session, he's still going to be in the championship fight, counting the points, but talking about the chances of overtaking about 15 cars or even more on the way to win this to win the race and have a chance of winning the championship is, well, it's a bit it's quite impossible. He says the fastest sector 1 overall. That's interesting. That's very interesting. As now Jafar Blackwood is also risking. Uh, he's on B12 after a bad qualifying last time at Abu Dhabi on Monday. And now Gabriel is improving his personal best by quarter of a second and he's still first. He's still the fastest on the middle sector. Blackwood is unable to improve his personal best, as here comes Yuri Gabriel down the main straight, and it is going to be a first position for him, even ahead of Berta Kieslin. Chapman is still in P17, yet to make it into top 16. Aboshintoven without any improvements. Armin is staying on his position, the same as Fraser, and Rosetta Martinez, I guess, yes? Dursley on P9, also completing the third sector. As we have about 3 minutes left, 3.5. Aitken without any improvement, Arnold without any improvement, and it's Toast making it up into P21, but Williams are still last. Today on P21 and P22, Andreoli P14, and Darabas Daniel also no improvement for him. Aditya Bagus is going to stay on third after this lap. Emil Nielsen P19, but we have just 3 minutes left, and Max Mittler on the flying lap. It is not going to decide anything, but he is going for an improvement, as he was faster than his previous best lap time by 11 thousandths of a second after the middle sector, but he is staying on 5th with about 1/10 of a second slower than Gabriel. Anybody else on the lap? No, everybody is making their way into the pits. Well, drivers still have plenty of time to make it back onto the track and to improve their lap times. And as we see, the gap between P1 and P17 is less than 4/10 of a second, which is impressive, of course. Talking about these lap times, about 30 seconds for any of the drivers to make it onto the track. As we see, some drivers are prepared already or not, but I guess it's still going to be the qualifying session number 1 over. Just 1 minute 30 seconds. So I think it's over, but Yuri Gabriel is still making it onto the track. And looks like HRT finally found a sponsor, as their sponsor is Hero Motors. FRC is not advertising them, but we're just taking a look at this beauty on the rear wheel. Well, these laps are not going to change anything at all, so out of the first qualifying session we have Colin Chapman on P17, P18 for Lionel Messi and P19 for Emil Nielsen, P20 Hidayat and then 2 Williams starting from the back of the field on P21 and P22. These drivers are Fernando Tost and Alexander Arnold. Well, the lap times for now are pretty close. Are they going to be even closer in the second qualifying session? Well, let's see, as we're going for a break and we're going to be back on air in just a couple of minutes. Well, the Q2 is underway, and I guess that for that music that you've heard during the break, the in-game music, we're going to get copyrighted again, this time for the third time. This is going to be the third time we're going to get copyrighted, but I guess I'm just going to cut the part after the stream and to upload the whole qualifying session back on YouTube. So it's not a big deal for us. And the video is not going to get blocked or something because of this piece of art. Anyways, Yuri Gabriel is on the track, the Darkhouse in danger in Q1, that he's not going to make it into Q2, but as a result, he actually did, and it was fantastic as he has put the fastest lap time, 1 minute 7 seconds, and 788 thousandths of a second. Well, looks like Yuri is going to get some traffic ahead, but I'm not sure it's going to be traffic, so Yuri Gabriel is now on the flying lap. .262. Just look at that, 3 thousandths of a second between Fraser and Gabriel after Sector 1. That's how close the driver's performance in 2011 season is. Now Yuri is about to complete the middle sector, and we're going to compare the times between Gabriel and Fraser. And maybe also Baked Oven. 51.576, 51.501. Fraser is faster than the Brazilian driver from Red Bull. It is going to be 107.853, Fraser first, and Oven third. Santino Andreoli is going to be 4th, 5th actually, Abush only 4th, and Bagus is the fastest for now. Force India Rosetta Martinez is crossing the line on 7th position with 6/10 of a second slower than Bagus. Darbas Daniel, the Mercedes, is going to be on P6 only. The second Mercedes is going to be on 5th, with Jafari Blackwood on P9. Dick Tassi ahead of Jafari, and Erko Hannibal on P11. Sam Toscan is the next one to cross the line, as he is going to be on P10. So he joins the battle for the seat in Q3. His teammate Victor Aitken is going to be on P13, as Smitler makes it up into 4th, with Vucci Charmian on P6. Bagus, Fraser, Gabriel, that's the top 3 for now. And it's a top 4 completed by the Ferrari and Red Bull drivers, which is also very interesting. And as I was talking a lot about the Constructor Championship and the battle there, well, I'll say it again, just 14 points between the teams, and every weekend you can score 44 points, 25 plus 18 plus 1 point for the fastest lap. These are all the 44 points you can score during the weekend. Well, for now, out of top 10 we have Telsley, Oscar Blackwood, Aitken, Hanabusa and Martinez. Yuri Gabriel is back on track with his beautiful Red Bull. And Santino Andreoli is now on P10 as the drivers from Renault are trying to put the best performance they can, as it is the last weekend for Renault in Formula 1. But as we all know, it's only for now. The team is going to be renamed to Lotus, and the green Renault, or just the green Lotus, I don't know how you call it, is going to be named Caterham. Sir Gabriel is now starting his second flying lap. Let's take a look. And here comes Rosetta Martinez ahead of the Brazilian driver. Probably the lap is going to be ruined, but it can also be a boost talking about the slipstream, but well, Gabriel is losing some time to his personal best, but it's not that much. Not that much, as it's just a quarter of a tenth of a second. But at the same time, it's Brazil. You must not waste any time there. As your Gabriel is now losing 3/10 of a second to his teammate Adityo Bagus. But for now, Beethoven, who is now on P5, is actually the fastest on the middle sector. Let's see what his performance is going to be in Sector 3 as he sets the fastest lap for now, 1 minute 7 seconds and 762 thousandths. That's very interesting, as Andreoli is now on P10. Do we have any improvements? Yes, we have. Bagus is on top again, as his rival is starting the flying lap. But let's take a look at other drivers like Eric Hannibal, who is now struggling on P15. We're taking 8 in the current session results and making it up into P14. Apovich on P4, and the next one is going to be Kieslin, staying on P8, but this time with an improvement. Rosetta Martinez on P13, making it ahead of his teammate Jafar Blackwood. Darbus Daniel on P7, sorry. A bit disappointing result. Jafar Blackwood, the driver who just... No, it was not Red Bull, sorry, my bad. Well, here comes Jafar Blackwood. Looks like no improvement for him, but an improvement for Samet Ozkan, who is making it up into 10th. Also an improvement for his teammate Victor Aitken, but he's staying on P16. Wuchi Charmin still on P8, and that's it. That's it. Smidler is still on P6. So Bagus P1, Gabriel P5, Smidler P6, and Kieslin P9. As we're going to check the poll to see if we have any new votes, and looks like we don't. And also, let's not forget that it's Brazil, and the one who is fighting for the championship is also Brazilian, as it is Yuri Gabriel. Yes, he has some low chances of winning the title, but at least that's fantastic to see. Uh, the people on the grandstand have been fans of Yuri Gabriel, who comes out of the pit lane for his third flying lap at his home track. And yes, also talking about the Brazilian Grand Prix 2010 once again. Yuri Gabriel was also racing there, but he is certainly the 22nd fastest lap time, so he was starting the race on last position. But it's over since he joined Red Bull, as he starts his 6th flying lap today and 3rd in this second qualifying session. Is there going to be in traffic? Looks like there is, but it's just a minor traffic of Darbus Daniel ahead of the Brazilian driver, who has lost just 1/100th of a second to his teammate Aditya Bagus after the first sector. And also talking about Bagus, yes, he was also participating there, but not with the Red Bull. Bagus was only 17th, as he has also been out of Q1 then.
2 minutes remaining.
And as we know, Aditya Bagus was racing for Zauber then, with Yuri Gabriel racing for HRT. As a result, Yuri scored 1 point that season. It was fantastic, as it was the only point for HRT then. Unlike now, when HRT scored about 50 points this season, but to be correct, it's 55. Bagus staying on first, Fraser starting the lap, his lap, Owen is still on second position, and Serika Hannibal is now still on 15th. She has to improve to make it into Q3. So we have just 1 minute left, 1 minute to go in this session, and Erika Hanebose is sadly staying on P15. And her teammate Jake Telsley is now coming down the final corner here at Brazil. He's going to be on P12. Berto Kirsten up to second, not bad, as his teammate is also completing his lap. And it is going to be P6 for Darabas, Blackwood P12, Martinez P10, and Abobovic is going to be on P4, up into P4, not bad, which Charmin is staying inside the top 10, and as we see, Martinez makes it into top 10 after this furious lap. Fraser no improvement, and Max Miller is still on P8, not the best performance by the Welshman. Victor Aitken is going to be starting from P16 still tomorrow. Well, that's it. We have Oskan, Andreoli, Blackwood, Telsley, Hannibal and Aitken out of Q2. And in Q3 we have the full lineup of Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes, and Wushi Charmin and Rosetta Martinez, as it is going to be the appearance in Q3 for Lotus in their final race. And I guess this time I will not forget to remove the volume, or I'll have to cut another part of the stream. Anyways, well, we're going for another short break and see you in a couple of minutes. Well, we're back once again, and this time it's going to be the final qualifying session of this 2011 season. Who is going to be the last pole sitter this year? Well, it's going to be decided in this in about 15 minutes or even less. The drivers have already started their engines, and first driver making it onto the track is going to be Daniel Fraser, the British driver. As also there are some rumors going around the paddock about the winter transfers for the 2012 season. Basically, there are some of them, but a lot of people think that Daniel Fraser is still going to stay at Ferrari after after losing to his teammate. Max Miller beats his teammate for the second time in his career. But actually, let's see. What about other drivers? Yuri Gabriel. Most likely, it's going to be his last race in the championship after starting his career at HRT in the middle of 2010. But still, looks like he's not going to sign another contract for Red Bull. The next one is going to be Max Miller, as most likely after another fantastic performance by the Welshman he is going to stay at Ferrari. Also still no news about Beethoven, probably is going to be another retirement, and Abovic is going to change his teammate for the third time in his career, if he is going to stay at McLaren, of course. Well, the next one is Berta Kissen. I think that there are still no news about him, but let's see. The next driver is Rosetta Martinez, the Force India driver. There was a rivalry between Force Indias this season, but it looks like Rosetta has lost this one, as Rosetta is actually going to leave Force India for one of the teams like Caterham or Lotus. If he's going to be lucky, probably he's going to join also one of the top teams to replace Berta Kiesen, for example. As we have the first flying laps, Fraser at the first for now. Daniel is up on the first. Darbus, well done. The driver who is also probably going to leave Mercedes, as Abovic also improving on Darbus Daniels sector 2 time. Let's see, as Abovic comes down the final corner. And it is going to be P5 only. Looks like there was a mistake in the final sector, and as a result the Russian has lost a lot of time, and he's going to be only 5th. Well, let's continue. The next one is going to be Vucic Armin, who is most likely going to stay at Lotus, but there are also some rumors that he's going to join one of the top teams, and one of the options is to replace Baked Oven and to be the teammate of Abovic at McLaren. Well, basically there are still a lot of rumors, but let's talk about just some of them. The next one is Saddam Hidayat, the Indonesian who was looking impressive in the first half of the season, but something happened to him and he was struggling in the second half. Anyways, he's going to leave Lotus, which is going to be Caterham next season, and looks like his goal is to get the Lotus seat. It sounds strange that he wants to leave Lotus for Lotus, but well, Lotus is Renault, so yeah, basically it's going to be a different team. The next one is Samet Oskan. Well, he can stay at Toro Rosso, but he is also looking uh, for some other offers he received, and one of them is from Zauber. Aditya Bagos is the next one, who had an impressive season this year, and he is also looking to stay at Red Bull. Okay, another one, Abovic, the Russian from McLaren. This time he could not fight for the championship, but he hopes that he's going to stay at McLaren for the 2012 season. Other option is going to be as a Lotus seat, as also Erika Hanebusa from Sauber is looking for a new team, and some offers. Some people are saying that she's going to join Force India or Toro Rosso. And by the way, looks like we're going to have some new drivers also. One of them is from Formula Renault, and it is Jacob Horlher, the Swiss driver, who's looking for a seat. And one of the options is HRT, which looks quite realistic for a new driver. So we also have Nicholas Johansson from Sweden. He's going to be another Swedish driver. As also people saying that he's fighting for the seat in Sauber. As also Jake Dasley from Sauber is about to leave the team, as he really thinks that he can that he proves that he can get a top team seat. Actually, let's see if that's true or not. As we also have another driver who is about to join the 2012 lineup. It's Andrew Paracellus from Guam. And probably he's going to join Caterham next season. As we have another flying laps being completed of an only P8. Gabriel has an improvement on the middle sector, and he is faster by a quarter of a tenth, which is quite promising. Also improving on his personal best by 1/10 of a second. What is it going to be? It's going to be only P4. Rosetta Martinez staying on P10. Bagus also improving on the middle sector, but we know how fast Darbus was on sector 3. So let's see. As we have still 7 drivers in 1/10 of a second. Aditya Bagus is going to be up in the first position, as Berta Geslin only P4 with the same lap time as Daniel Fraser, who moves down to 4th, as Abovic is on 3rd position. Darbus Daniel is on 2nd. He cannot get the provisional pole back from the Indonesian, as the next driver is going to be Max Miedler, who's looking also really good at the middle sector. And he comes down the final corner, and he's going to be P1 for the Welshman. That's impressive. We have Smiller P1 and Bagus P2. And these are the drivers who are fighting for the championship. As we're looking for a very interesting race tomorrow. Other contenders are not quite close to the front row, but still Geslin P6 and Gabriel P7. Well, everybody still has one more chance to fight for the pole position or for high a grid for the high place on the starting grid tomorrow. As Max Miller makes it into the pits, the Welshman who is fighting for the championship for the second week, for the second year in a row. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And we're going to know who's going to be the pole sitter for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And probably today we're going to know the driver who is going to be not just on pole position, but who may win the race tomorrow. There are plenty of options, not just the title contenders, but also the drivers like Daniel and Abovovich, as Daniel Fraser is now coming down the final a couple of corners, going uphill, and now he's going to start his final lap in the qualifying sessions in 2011 season. He crosses the line, and probably this lap is going to lead him to the provisional pole. Let's actually take a look, as also Baked Oven is not looking really good in this session, as he's quarter of a second slower than Max Miller, and that's a lot. As even Vucci Sharman is losing a half of a tenth of a second to the McLaren driver. Looks like Fraser is the one who is the fastest on the first sector. As everybody is now on the track, everybody will have enough time to start the final flying lap of the season. This time, Fraser is 2 thousandths of a second slower than the personal best, and he comes down the final corner. I don't think that he's going to get the pole position, but still, it looks pretty close, and he is going to be on P5 without any improvement. Max Miller starts his flying lap as Rosetta Martinez is completing it. Rosetta Martinez is now going to be starting from P10. Yuri Gabriel down the final corner, and he was on P7 and he makes it up into P3. Fantastic! Now we have a top 3 of the title contenders, but can it get ruined by Baked Oven, who also looks like somebody who can make it onto the front row. At least that he makes it. He makes it up into P1. Baked Oven, the 2010 Brazilian Grand Prix winner, was Senor Kaka at McLaren, and looks like it is going to be a pole position for McLaren, maybe. Let's see. Berta Kisin on P7. Abush not improved, and Aditya Bagus only P3. Only P3. He's going to be starting behind Max Miller. He's going to be starting behind Max Miller, who has no improvement on the middle sector. And now he comes down the final corner. And is he going to get the pole position, or he is going to be starting second? Let's take a look. As it is going to be just the second position for the Welshman, and third for Bagus. Fourth for Gabriel, and seventh for Kiesen only. And as we see, that's not over yet, as Darbus Daniel is also coming down the final corner, down the main straight, and he's going to be starting 5th. Now that's it, the final qualifying session of the season is finally over, and tomorrow the championship winner is going to be decided Is it going to be Smidler starting from second, Bayo starting from third, Gabriel starting from fourth, or Kiesin starting from seventh? The last scenario most likely is impossible, but we'll have to see, as Brazil can produce some impressive racing by the drivers. Well, it's going to be really close uh, tomorrow in the battle for the championship and for the win also. As we see our pole sitter Beethoven making it into the pits. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching and see you tomorrow for the title decider at Brazil at Interlagos. I wish you a good afternoon, a good evening, and goodbye. See you soon.